Did you know that the default mode for a muscle that doesn't have good coordination is tightness? It's stiff, it's locked up. And that's why some people feel like they can stretch, yet they still feel tight and restricted through certain areas of their body. A lot of times what matters more than just stretching is regaining some stability, some balance, some coordination through those areas. And once you do that, magical things start to happen where you feel like you have more mobility. And today I'm going to share with you a technical movement, a little bit of an exercise, a coordination drill that will allow you to move more freely through your hip. It's going to help to engage and give you more mobility and more coordination through your hip. And the movement is called a hip airplane. If you've never done this before, you are going to want to start with something right in front of you so you can use your upper body to give you some balance and stability until you get this down. So you've got something in front of you. If you don't, you can use a wall. And what I want you to do first is balance on one leg. The opposite leg is going to rise up. And whenever you feel like you need the support, you can put your hands down here. You want all of the movement to come through the hip movement, right in through here, meaning you don't want to be looking up in all of these directions. You want to move through the hip here and through the hip here. Let me show you on the other side so you can see this from several angles. I am going to now bring this leg back. The reason I want you to start off without touching this is because sometimes I see people do weird things like this where they would just fall and topple over. So I want you to find as much of your own natural balance and stability that you can first. Whenever you need to, put those hands down. When you tilt your pelvis this way, I'm really trying to get my pelvis to go in this direction here. You should feel a stretch right here. This is the goal, right here, to feel that stretch. Now we're going to use all of these muscles here to turn our pelvis going this way. And again, I am going to show you this from several angles so that you can really get this down. Again, all the movements from the hips as much as possible, meaning, once again, I don't want you to be trying to look up at the ceiling in both directions because that starts to twist your spine. One of the benefits of this exercise is it will act as a core stability exercise because your spine should be stable. Your pelvis and your ribs should be pretty locked in place, and your head and neck should be pretty neutral. You do not want to be doing this kind of stuff. You want all the movement through your hips. We're here, and now we're here. We're here, and now we're here. We're going to move. When you feel comfortable, and the nice thing is you could move something away and say, okay, I'm going to move through here, and now I'm going to move through here. You can see my lower leg shaking a little bit. If you need to hold on to something, you get it right back there. And that's because I'm also using all of my leg muscles in here to try to fine-tune and balance my entire lower leg. So this here can be good for the hip, but you're also going to strengthen the foot, a lot of muscles around the knee, and all that movement right through the hips there. When you need to grab onto something, hold something, you can do it right in through there. So that is a hip airplane. How many times should I do it? That's what everybody wants to know. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. I don't necessarily consider this an exercise. I like to do this as a warm-up or a cool-down or something in between exercises to wake up these deep little intricate muscles that usually wouldn't get used when you just do your squats, your hinges. You know, all of these kinds of things are fantastic exercises, by the way, but you're not always going to use these more deep, intrinsic muscles of the hip. This hip airplane is a great way to get that. you could just do it 3 or 4 times as just a way, okay, I want to get my brain to wake that up in through here. If you wanted to really turn it into an exercise, maybe you try to do 3 sets of 10 on each side. So I'm trying to give you a new movement pattern, and I want you to play with it. I want you to make it your own and see what works for you. As always, if you have pain, pinching sensations, sharp types of pain, you might not want to do this. There are certain cases, maybe with certain types of arthritis, that maybe this is too much force through your hip at the moment. So always check with a physician, your spine health specialist, somebody who can help guide you to determine if this is a good exercise for you. As always, I hope you got something out of this. Leave comments below. I love to answer questions, and maybe even like our page, follow us so that you can keep up to date with all of our content.